and welcome to Beads Jar. My name's Billy and today's design is these beautiful lion mane earrings that we've been making up on the new loops. I hope you enjoy today's project. In order to put these beautiful earrings together, we're going to be working with these teardrop shape earring loops. I'll be making a middle pendant piece, which you can see here, and you can either use an eye pin already, or in this case I'm going to have to be cutting up a head pin, but I'll show you this technique in a second. I've got my ear hooks, these are just gold plated, and I have a 6mm jump ring. On my drop I've got one of the Hematite 6mm beads, and for this lion mane effect we'll be working with the dragon scale beads. We've got the size 11 Miyukis, size 15 Miyukis, and we have the size 11 Delica beads. I'll be weaving those with the 8-pound smoke Fireline, and tool wise I'll need scissors, 2 pairs of flat nose pliers, a pair of round nose pliers, and my side cutters. Onto my beading needle I've already pre-threaded a metre of the black Fireline, and this is a size 10 beading needle. I'm going to start making the simple drop, well, the more simpler part of the earring, so the drop in the centre. And as I said, I'm going to be using the head pin to create an eye pin. So the first thing I'll do is to use my side cutters to take the head pin off, so the head part of that off there. I'll then pick up my round nose pliers and I'm going to create a loop at the end of the wire. So I'm going round in a circle until it's joint itself, and then I'm just going to flick that back so I've got more of a lollipop shape. Twist that open and you're going to hook one of the dragon scale beads onto that opened ring, like so, and you want to close that back together again. Next you can thread your beads above the dragon scale, like so, and we're going to make our twist. So I'm going to place my pliers above that last bead, so the round nose pliers for this, push the pin away at a 90-degree angle and then bring it over the top of the pliers. Take my pliers out of the loop and then back in, so that my bottom prong's in the loop, and I'm just going to twist twice around the neck of the now eye pin. So I've got a coiled effect on my loop, and I can trim that excess wire off using my side cutters. If you've got your lip of wire, you can always just tease that in using your flat nose pliers. And we're going to connect that into the teardrop hoop using the jump ring. So you're opening up your jump ring and you're going to go through the top loop and come out of the bottom here. Hook on your dragon scale drop and you're closing that back together again. And that's going to give you your pendant in the centre. Don't put your hook on just yet, we'll use that at the very end as it can get in the way of your threads as you're making the next part of the project. For the first part of this kind of lion mane effect, we'll be working with the size 15 Miyukis. So you're going to pick one of those up and take that down your thread, leaving about an 8cm tail. So I'm just holding that bead with my finger and I'm going to go up through the loop of the earring with the beading needle and then back down through the size 15 bead. And when I pull that, you'll notice That's now on to the loop of our earring loop. So second one goes next to it. This will get easier as you progress, so as you get more beads on here, it'll be easier to hold as well. Through. If you get a gap like that, you can just push it along with your finger. So you're just going to continue with a row, and we're going to put 17 in total. So 17 Miyuki size 15s around this curve here. So I'll join you when you've got to your 17th. Right, so now you'll be joining me again, and you'll have already pre-threaded the 17 size 15 Miyukis. So we're coming out of this side here. In order for me to work comfortably on this project, I'm just going to turn it round. So this is where we were coming out. So I'm just flipping that onto the reverse side. So I'm working most comfortably for myself. And then I'm going to show you how we create the next row. So we're changing beads for the next row, and we're going to be adding the size 11 Miyuki Delica beads. So in order to start this row, I'm picking one of those up. And then we're going to take the needle and thread through the next two, so in between them both, the next two size 15 rounds, and then we go up through our Miyuki Delica, and when we pull that, that should sit above the 15s. Next 11 and next two beads along. So if you can see, we're going through the fire line between those two, and then we come up again through the Delica, and when you pull on your thread, that will sit flush against the 15s. So you keep going until you've got to the row, the complete row, and of your 15s as well. So I'll join you when you've got all your size, your Delicas all the way around to here, and we start our next row down. So we've reached the row of the Delicas, so I'm going to once again flip my project to work from the most comfortable side for myself. So here we have the thread coming out of this bead, and I'm going to change beads again, and we're going to be working with the size 11 round seed beads in the Miyukis. So I'm going to pick that up with my beading needle, and I'm also going to be getting one of my size 15s again, so that was the bead we used for the first row, and a dragon scale bead. So they're going to all go on this needle here and down the thread. You're now going to go back up through the beads. I'm just going to hold that there. So we've pulled the dragon scale bead up as well. And then you take your thread through the two Delicas and then I have to come back, but this time just back through the size 11. Then you take your next beads and we repeat that again. So you've got your 11, 15 and dragon, and we take that down the thread, back through our beads, pull that up. This is where it looks a little complicated on this row. So we've come back up through the beads, and now we need to go through the middle of the next two Delicas. And we're coming through the 11 and there you can pull in your threads. And again. So 11, 15 and dragon. And once again, believe it or not, we're going to go all the way to the end of this line. And then I'll join you to show you how we tie off our knots. So we've finished our lovely row of the dragon scale beads, and my thread now and yours should be coming out of that last size 11 seed bead. I'm then going to go up with my beading needle through the Delica above it. So my needle's coming out there, and I'm going to tie my thread off now. So what I want to do is to take my needle between two beads, and I'm trying to pick up one of the Fireline threads that's running between these two. So just wriggle it about a bit. So I've caught one there, and you can see that the Fireline is going over the top of my beading needle. So if I tried to pull my beading needle up, it won't move. As I bring that through, a loop of Fireline is created here, and we're going to take our beading needle through that loop, and we've created a knot that's going to be pulled and sit in between our beads. I'm now going to pass across, so my knot's here. I'm going to take my thread across to the next Delica and down. So you can see the beading needle coming out of that second Delica now. And this is where we're going to do our second knot. So same thing again, I'm going to go fishing for my next thread, which is there, and that's going across the top of my needle. And as I pull my thread through, we've got the loop forming, and then we go back through that loop and pull it tight. And then I'm going to work my beading needle and thread through that size 11, and I'm coming out of the size 11 bead. I've done 2 knots. I'm happy that that's nice and secure and that the thread's not going to come out or move. Plus, with an earring, we have very little movement around here anyway, so 2 knots is very sufficient. And we're just going to take that off with the scissors. So all the knots are hidden inside there. Now what we want to do is take our beading needle to this side and the thread that we started with, and we're going to do the same again. So we're going to create 2 knots, go through some of the beads and tie that end off. So you're just going to pop your beading needle here, tie your 2 knots, out and cut away. After popping those knots in and cutting away your thread, the last little bit we need to do is to attach our ear hook. So using the flat nose pliers, I'm going to open the loop of my ear hook straight onto the loop of our drop and close that back together again. And you have finished making those absolutely spectacular earrings. Thank you for watching our tutorial. If you've enjoyed it, remember to give us a big thumbs up, and also you can subscribe now to watch our latest designs on our channel. Until next time, bye!